I'm the Tez.
Welcome to the TezDown. Welcome.
I'm the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the TezDown. Party time. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, research, education, and parody. Under this act, fair use is permitted use of copyrighted content that might otherwise infringe on the exclusive rights of copyright holders. The TezDown podcast is a platform for entertainment and education. Edutainment, a blend of education and entertainment, emphasizes content that informs while it entertains. The views expressed in this channel's commentary do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of the hosts, and may not always reflect the complete or verified accuracy of information presented. All content, including commentary, analysis, and discussion, falls within the legal parameters of fair use. We make no claims to ownership of any third-party content. This is the TezDown. Sports unscripted, culture unfiltered. Thank you for understanding. Hey, welcome to the TezDown. Hey, you know who it is. It is me. It is Tez. It is the dude today. And what's going on with the screen? Hold on, y'all. Let's see what we... Yeah, there we go. All right. We had a little bit of a screen issue. That was weird, wasn't it? All right, anyway. Welcome to the TezDown. I got 2 shows for y'all today. Y'all are getting spoiled. So this first show that we're going to do is going to be, the typical TezDown stuff. What if the roles were reversed? So I have a couple topics we're going to talk about. We got a little bit of sports, we got a little bit of politics, and then we have a video with some meat. We probably have time to do a random story time. What do you guys think? I think that's going to be a good idea today. Let's get this cracking, though. I don't know what's going on with all this today, but it's not treating me good, as you guys can see. But it's cool. We're gonna get cracking immediately today on our first video, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to review a little bit of this and then talk about it. But the first one of the day is Noah Lyles gets beat in the indoor men's 60-meter final. As you guys are well aware, Noah Lyles talks a whole bunch of crap. As you guys are also well aware of, this is the TezDown Sports Unfiltered, Culture Uncensored. There we go. So we're going to get this, or unscripted, my bad. There we go.
Auto giggling for the Xfinity men's 60-meter final.
I just feel like it's going to be an unpredictable race. Here is Wells, the last one into the final, eliminated in the heats at 2025 World Indoors. Didn't race outdoors last season, dealing with some injuries.
He had a really good start in his semifinal. Dylan Mitchell is going to add now the conversation for fast high schoolers as he broke the U18 world record in the semis.
And here is the 2016 World Indoor Champion in this.
Let's speed them up a little bit, and you can get through these inductions.
In the semifinal round, here's Trayvon.
We can get through all of these inductions. There we go. There's your boy right there.
Anthony to his right here.
College football fans know the Heisman Trophy, the equivalent in track and field is the Bowerman Award. This is the Bowerman Award from last year, Jordan Anthony.
And he's as fast as Noah Lyles has ever run in his life, and he's the fastest man in the world in this event this year.
Next to him is Max Thomas.
And Thomas was 8th at the 2025 U.S. Outdoor Championships. That was his first senior final that he made last year. That was in the 200, which is his better event.
And Lawrence Johnson, who came into today undefeated, did not win his semifinal, but he does draw lane 7 in the final. And Malachi Adams, last to be introduced in lane 8.
He was 5th last. Is going to have to go to a place that we haven't seen him
Let's get to the race.
2026. We know he's a champion. We know he thrives.
All right, y'all.
Of experimentation. Big celebrations for him. He's getting married in early April.
In fact, even if he wins or makes the team, he says he's not going to World Indoor. So this is really just about the competition here at Ocean Breeze.
As he settles into lane 4, Jordan Anthony to his right shoulder in 5 for the men's 60-meter final. And they're underway, and Jordan Anthony got a very good start, as did Wells in the middle of the track. Jordan Anthony is your U.S. champion.
There's something to be said.
Oh, yeah.
6:45
the youngin.
officially. So Jordan Anthony, after dominating.
The youngin beats Noah Lyles, y'all. It was y'all saw it here first, actually second, but that is what it is. Noah Lyles gonna have to talk about this one because he said he's the fastest man in the world. You didn't even take second place in this fight, bro. You got to go ahead and get it together. Like I'm not hoping for the man's downfall at all. I like the cockiness in sports, I really do, and I hope that he can pick it up from here. But we got to move on. We have a firing of a government official, and we're gonna watch a little bit of this depot. And she got asked, did you sleep? Hold on, we got to put this one up there. Extramarital relations. There we go. Ha! Extramarital relations with KRISTY Noem being fired by President Donald Trump. And you'll find out why she got fired. And one of the main reasons why is right here.
The gentlelady from California is recognized
Let's move
for 5
this up
minutes.
a little bit. Let's move this up just a bit so we can get a decent playback speed. You guys can see that this was not cordial.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Secretary, for joining us. Finally, you are in charge of protecting the homeland. And so your judgment and the judgment of your senior staff can be the difference between life and death. So I think that judgment would need to be.
So if you guys don't know, KRISTY Noem was the director of Homeland Security. She is the person that is responsible for sending ICE all over the place. And this is what happened during her deposition.
Unassailable. Why then, is the question, have you made Corey Lewandowski your de facto chief of staff who possesses an unchecked level of power at DHS? Under your leadership, this person has done things like fire your FEMA administrator while sitting behind your desk, which is your job to do, lobby to build the controversial detention facility known as Alligator Alcatraz, which has turned into a legal boondoggle costing Florida millions, and have veto and reviewing and signing power over large DHS contracts and grants, which again is your job. DHS has critical agency components like the Secret Service, FEMA, Border Patrol, cybersecurity. So does Corey Lewandowski have national security experience, military experience, law enforcement experience? No, he is a lobbyist, a failed campaign manager, which is causing my constituents who are waiting for their FEMA dollars and me to wonder what are his qualifications for this job. So according to the Wall Street Journal, you and Mr. L have a close relationship that has made President Trump, quote, uncomfortable. The president reportedly denounced Corey Lewandowski as your chief of staff due to reports of a romantic relationship between the two of you. So instead, you designated him as a special government employee, a position he has had well beyond the allowed 130 days and requires him to disclose if he is making money off of his position. Trump knows that this guy is shady. Corey has a decades-long record of physical battery, sexual harassment, illegal lobbying for a Venezuelan oil company, and bringing a loaded gun into a federal building. Despite being fired or removed from virtually every position he has ever held due to misconduct, he now wields unchecked, unconfirmed, undisclosed power over your department. This person has no experience running anything close to Department of Homeland Security or even advising someone in your position. He is unqualified, which again has left my constituents and I wondering why he is your top official. So Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming my
Ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming my
As an
time,
advisor,
Secretary, it is
has
okay for
no-
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be making
question.
any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
Has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to be
question.
making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do
question
at the Department of Homeland
clearly
Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day is to protect
If
this
someone
country
is
and to
asking
make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should
I
be
have-
the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has
about
been refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself.
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know. It is about your judgment and decision-making. It is about the
Give me my time.
260,000
Don't get to
employees
talk.
that
Lumber
work
is
under
at a
you,
five-year
that
low.
want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly without any sort of cloudiness. And that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed. That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars and not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision-making. And Mr. Chair, before I yield my time, I would like to enter into the record some articles and I'm asking for unanimous consent. Noem tightens her grip on DHS. Lewandowski fired FEMA admin.
Without
I'll say,
objection.
okay. The next one is KRISTY Noem secretly took a cut of political donations from ProPublica.
Without objection.
KRISTY Noem fires pilot over a blanket, but is forced to reinstate him to fly home. Wall Street Journal.
Without objection.
Lewandowski taking out trash at Noem's D.C. home. Daily Beast.
Without objection.
Sparby's Mile High privacy chamber with alleged lever exposed. Wall Street.
Wow. So once again, we're having a conversation about this. She had a mile-high chamber. If you guys don't know what a mile-high chamber is, it's a place where you get jiggy in the sky with your, and this was all on the government's dollar. And that's what the problem is here. And that's why she's bringing this up. McKinnon says, I'm dead serious. When government officials are brought to answer questions to a comedy, they don't answer or don't stop talking when asked. You lose your position, period. They should be fired for filibustering when there's no need to filibuster. Just answer the question or don't. Plead the fifth if you can, but you're wasting our time.
Journal, how Corey Lewandowski became KRISTY Noem's gatekeeper at DHS.
Without objection.
A pilot fired over KRISTY Noem's missing blanket and the constant chaos inside DHS. Wall Street Journal. Police charged Trump campaign manager with assault. PBS News.
Without objection.
Woman who accused Corey Lewandowski of assault speaks out. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. CBS News. Lewandowski's firm quietly inked deal with Venezuela-owned company Politico.
Without objection.
List of U.S. cities raising security amid Iran conflict. Newsweek.
Without objection.
KRISTY Noem, I have a few more, I'm sorry. KRISTY Noem misled Congress yesterday about top aide's role in DHS contracts.
Without objection.
Policy number 10271.
And this went on for an hour. And in that entire hour, what we gathered was that KRISTY Noem is well, I guess you can call her a philanderer. Said, just answer the question. It's not that hard to answer unless you have something to hide, or it's true, and it is true. And as a result of what she did, and the fact that she couldn't answer any questions, and it wasn't even just about these ones, but the fact that she couldn't answer anything has gotten her to this point right here.
Breaking news into CNN. KRISTY Noem is out as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. We have a team of reporters on this. Let's start with Kristen Holmes at the White House. Kristen, it was, like 10 minutes ago that you were reporting that her job was in jeopardy, and now it's official.
Yep, President Trump has announced that he has fired the Department of Homeland Security Secretary KRISTY Noem. This is the first cabinet position that he has fired during his second term. Of course, the only other high-profile ouster we've had like this was when Mike Waltz served as the head of the National Security Council. He was the National Security Advisor. So President Trump just posted this on Truth Social. He said, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st, 2026. And Boris, just so you know, this is one of the names that we had heard he was floating in these conversations he was having with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. The current Secretary, KRISTY Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. We are announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank KRISTY for her service at Homeland." Again, this is a huge deal, Boris. This is the first time he is firing a cabinet member. He has been incredibly reluctant this term to fire, to shuffle any of his staff, any of his officials, because of the perception of his first term when he was in office, that it was a revolving door. However, as we reported, we were told that the catalyst for this was essentially this appearance that she made, this hearing in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, in which she claimed President Trump had signed off on a $200 million ad campaign that featured her asking illegal immigrants to self-deport. President Trump has now said publicly he didn't do that. And of course, all of this is amid the fallout that we saw from Minnesota, from Minneapolis. And there had been pushback on the Hill and from many of President Trump's allies that KRISTY Noem was not the right person for the job. But many of them had been careful to walk a very thin line, not getting too far out there. But clearly, we are told now that this hearing put Trump over the edge in terms of his anger factor. Now he has fired Noem, replacing him.
Well, yeah, of course he was going to get upset about it. Not only did they expose her for everything that she's been doing, more than even just the sexual scandal that she's developing with a special government employee. Mind you, special government employees are only allowed 130 days in their job. This guy is well beyond his assignment that he's supposed to have, in this job. So, I mean, it only goes to say that right now, this was the right thing to do. This was a good firing. Is it crazy that she got another job in the government that he transferred her to? Yes. But is it good that she's not in this position anymore? Also, yes. She needed to go. She's terrible.
And with replacing her, with this Oklahoma senator.
All right, Kristen, this is huge news as we are getting this, that Trump is replacing KRISTY Noem as DHS secretary and moving her to a special envoy position, which is certainly a demotion and something that is meant to give her a little cover as she is getting ousted here. Kristen, thank you so much. If you could stand by for us here at the White House. Let's go to Priscilla.
The Dow is under 50K. If you guys don't understand the reference, this is from last week's KRISTY Noem deposition in the hearing in front of the House committee.
Alvarez, who has been tracking this for us. What are you learning?
Well, I have been hearing from Homeland Security officials who are stunned. Of course, they had been talking amongst themselves over the last several weeks and months, anticipating that the secretary may be out soon, given a series of missteps that they perceived she had done over the last several weeks. And one of those in particular, or many of those in particular, are stemmed in what happened in Minneapolis. Recall, of course, that surge of federal agents for that immigration enforcement operation where 2 U.S. citizens were fatally shot by federal agents. And it was the secretary who came out in that immediate aftermath, calling them domestic terrorists, something that she was grilled on during the congressional hearings this week, but that also shocked Homeland Security officials that she would so quickly draw conclusions over such incidents. And recall, too, that President Trump, in the aftermath of those shootings, had dispatched White House border czar Tom Homan to try to resolve the issues on the ground. It was the most high-profile rebuke over the course of the last year of the secretary and the way that she was managing the department and the immigration enforcement mission. Now, of course, the White House said at the time that she was in lockstep with Tom Homan, but it was also clear internally that there had been long simmering tensions there. So all of this to say that it had been building over some time now, what was happening in the department, the management of the department between her and her chief advisor, Corey Lewandowski, who was serving as a special government employee. There had been multiple concerns from within the department about the way that she was handling things, even most recently when she said that she was suspending TSA PreCheck, and then the department had to reverse that within hours.
I mean, you have to ask the question, what was he doing taking the trash out of her house? He was taking the trash out at KRISTY Noem's house, and everyone saw it. Mind you, she lives on a base, a government base, where anyone can see what you're doing. She's been hiding on the tax dollar, living on a house, on a government base, on a military base for a while now. And this is just the next thing that she would have done to get herself fired. And at least this time they did fire her. I don't agree with putting her somewhere else. Let her go jobless. Let her go hunting for a job somewhere else, but keep her out of this government. He said you have to explain why under 50K is big. So Joe Jett, just last week, KRISTY Noem avoided answering questions about everything in the DHS by saying the Dow is over 50K, you guys. The Dow is over 50K. So it's kind of a running joke about the Dow. She was more concerned about the stock market than people being killed.
So this has been just a shock for a lot of Homeland Security officials who, even though they thought the writing was on the wall with her leaving at some point, the fact that it has happened now in the wake of these hearings just has them all scrambling.
Priscilla Alvarez, please stand by. Let's go to Manu Raju, who's live on Capitol Hill. Manu, I promised that at some point I would ask you about the situation with KRISTY Noem and these hearings. Clearly, they were disastrous.
Yeah, and no question about it. And there had been a lack of support for KRISTY Noem throughout, and a growing number of Republicans expressing frustration, concern, and actually, frankly, not even saying if they would support her continuing in the job. And no doubt that echoed at the White House, and the President Trump clearly had some of those similar concerns as well. But I want you to listen to what some of the Republicans told me just in the last day about whether they would continue supporting KRISTY Noem staying in that job.
Do you have confidence in Secretary Noem?
Time will tell.
Would you vote for her again if you had a chance?
Time will tell.
Do you have confidence in her?
I'm not going to answer that. That's not my decision.
But you voted to confirm her.
That's not my decision. If the president, that's up to the president. I want to be a team player, and I want to secure the border, and I want to enforce our immigration laws. But I'm tired of trying to explain behavior that is inexplicable to me.
If you had a chance to vote for her again, would you?
I'm not going to answer that, Mom.
I'm not answering that question.
1,000 times, mate. Lots of luck to you.
Shame. About way Mullen almost certainly would get the support of a majority of the United States senators to be confirmed as the next Secretary of Homeland Security. The Senate tends to look favorably upon its own. He has served in this body for 3 years. He's a former House member for about 10 years. He's a former mixed martial arts fighter as well. And he's also been a staunch defender of President Trump's agenda. It is unclear exactly when it was informed to Mullen that he would be Donald Trump's pick, because he did speak to reporters at about 12:30 this afternoon. He was asked about these rumors about Trump floating his name as replacement. At that point, he said he had not spoken to Trump all week. And then he went, who's holed up in the number 2 Senate Republican's office, John Barrasso. He was not seen for some time. He left the Capitol without commenting, perhaps taking a call from the president at that point. So a surprise to many here, and maybe even to Senator Mullen. Guys.
Some fascinating color as Mullen leaves Capitol Hill, potentially taking a call from the president, refusing to comment about Trump considering him for DHS secretary, and just moments ago, Trump confirming that the new DHS secretary is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma.
In our national. So, I mean, we're gonna continue watching this right now. McKinnon says he was a plumber worth $2 million before entering politics. It is now worth between $35 million and $75 million. Imagine how. A plumber worth $2 million to a politician worth $35 to $75 million. We can talk about campaign contributions. We could talk about any type of philandering that he may be doing on the side. But it's very obvious here that not only is this a replacement, but also someone who's on the take as well. So we're going to be investigating him a little bit and see what type of job that he's going to do as the DHS secretary. But this is starting to get weird again, guys.
National lead Homeland Security Secretary KRISTY Noem is back on Capitol Hill today, facing bipartisan criticism for her job performance. Yesterday from senators, today from House lawmakers, both often focusing on the aggressive, many would say overly aggressive, immigration crackdown in Minnesota and elsewhere. One Republican senator giving her a particularly harsh assessment.
What we've seen is a disaster. Under your leadership, Ms. Noem, we're beginning to get the American people to think that deporting people is wrong. It's the exact opposite. The way you're going about deporting them is wrong. I read your book last week.
Now, you know it's bad when Republican senators are starting to be like, hey, you suck at your job. Why do you suck so bad? You're making us look bad.
And honestly, some of the parts of it impress me, but some of it distresses me. And I'll give you a good example of one that does. The passage where you talk about killing a dog that was 14 months old. You decided to kill that dog because you had not invested the appropriate time in training. And then you have the audacity to go into a book and say it's a leadership lesson about tough choices.
And North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis joins me now live in studio. Senator, let me ask you, why bring up this?
They bogus, man. They brought this man all the way from his rant inside of the chambers, into the studio to talk about why he was so upset about this. Now, let me tell you, I'm not happy about her killing that dog either. You say, you know, you messed up when you are so bad you got Republicans to read. Yeah, exactly.
Story of her killing Cricket. I mean, I thought it was a bizarre story too, but like, you think it's actually relevant?
I think it's relevant because if you read and I would recommend people do it. I bought the book, I got the audio book, I read it for the committee prep, but she tries to suggest that a 14-month-old dog that's only halfway through what most people who train dogs, particularly for hunting purposes, is necessary to have that dog be reliable. So she gets angry at a dog that she puts into service long before it should, and then goes and kills it in the backyard. And before that dog is dead, she made a bad decision there. She fielded it too soon without training. Then she goes back to the farm, grabs a family goat, and shoots it because it made her mad. That is not. That's a thought process. So look. The fact that she acted precipitously on limited information, not really understanding that she had put something into a situation it was not ready for, felt a lot like some of the decision-making that was done in Minneapolis.
Like calling Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists.
Immediately jump into that. So she was rationalizing.
Again, this, I could care less about either side, but let me tell you, this is a Republican senator that is pissed off that she went off this dog. I'm mad about the dog too. She gave me that little boy.
Killing a dog behavior because it didn't perform properly, but she was wrong. She could have had that dog perform properly. Her then rationalizing that these were terrorists was the expedient. It was the easy way out. I want leaders behind President Trump that do the hard work so that they're preserving the Republican majorities in Congress and the president's legacy. She's far from that.
Well, one of the interesting things about the Preddy and Good situations is that she immediately came out and said things that were false, that we saw on video were not true. And
no credible. And look, the reason why I asked her who Tom Homan reports to, because I knew the answer. And she said he reports to the president.
Right.
If there is no better example of a vote of no confidence, is somebody who was in front when the Preddy incident occurred. And now she, who is the head of Homeland Security, is replaced by somebody for a Homeland Security mission who doesn't actually even work for the Secretary of Homeland Security. That's a vote of no confidence, in my opinion, by the president.
So your Republican colleague, Senator Kennedy, was also critical. He was here earlier, and he was specifically critical about a multi-million-dollar ad campaign that DHS ran. And the secretary told him it had been a competitive bid process for the contractors who produced it, and the president had approved of the ad campaign. Democratic Senator Joe Neguse questioned her about the contractor that made these ads, Safe America Media, today. Take a listen.
Where's Safe America Media headquartered? I don't know. I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before? I don't know. I can't. The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
And we should know one of the other reasons why people are so suspicious of this is one of the subcontractors affiliated with that contract is a company run by the husband of her former spokeswoman, Tricia McLaughlin. What do you make of all this?
Well, look, I mean, let's also, I was sitting right next to John when he was asking the questions, and I don't think people picked up on how proud she was of making any decision over $100,000 in FEMA across her desk and any decision for Homeland Security over $15 million across her desk. How can
a lot
you
of
go
money,
from
y'all.
saying that you scrutinize everything in excess of 15 million and in the same 10-minute period say, I didn't know any of the details of a $200 million purchase? Yeah. This is somebody that is out of her depth and apparently only situationally interested in transactions over 15 million, except when it involves her family members or friends.
So one of the other things you asked for before you ran out of time yesterday, Charlotte's Web. That's the immigration enforcement operation in Charlotte, North Carolina, run by DHS. You have been waiting for more than a month for basic answers from her about this.
This is KRISTY Noem tears, y'all. KRISTY Noem tears.
Did she ever give you answers?
No, even worse than that. An hour. One of the reasons why I was angry is that an hour before, after waiting a month, I was told I wasn't going to get the data. I asked for anonymized data that recorded the incidents, the outcome, whether a person was illegally present or not, were they detained?
Just the oversight responsibility of the legislative branch. Yeah.
She says that she's got a world-class law.
See, now there are some GOP representatives that are trying to restore the prestige of their party. There are some, and they're willing to stand up against, the regime that's in, even if they do agree with a lot of the policies that the president has, they're willing to stand up against their own regime. So you can't say that everyone's not willing to do it. It's just situational, in my opinion.
enforcement organization. I could go to a small town in North Carolina and they could produce incident reports immediately for me. So she either doesn't have it or she doesn't like what it's going to say. And my suspicion is that she had a very low success rate. In that hearing, she made it a point to reserve the first few rows with victims of people, family members and survivors, angel families, for people who were harmed by these people that I want deported. She was trying to say that, but for her, that wouldn't happen. I think because of her, not enough of them are being apprehended because her and Stephen Miller are more worried about hitting artificial numbers that sound big. But when you dig below the surface, like I want to do with Charlotte's Web, I want to understand what their success rate was. And if they're successful, they should be moving heaven and earth to give me that information. The fact that they're stonewalling makes me really concerned with what I'm going to find. And if I don't get the information by March 19th, then I'm going to hold up more processes than I already am for Homeland Security.
There we go. He's talking about getting it done.
All right, joining us now, Congressman Jared Moskowitz.
We're going to be done with KRISTY Noem right now. Bye-bye, KRISTY. You sucked at your job. Let's hope you don't suck at the next one. And so as we move forward in today's episode, we are going to talk about something that is in a possibility right now with the way that the global politics is shaping, and that is the world dumping the U.S. debt. And what would happen if they did, and why this would not be a dream scenario for anybody that considers themselves an American.
Breaking news into...
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that going right now. What if we dumped U.S. debt?
But
so let's talk about this for a second, guys. We're talking about astronomical amounts of money that the government owes other countries and other governments, and who holds it, and what happens if they decide to dump it all and say that the US dollar is worth nothing. As you guys are well aware, the US dollar has been falling in viability over the last year or so, and I can tell you firsthand that when I was in Greece, they didn't want to take American money. They did not. They wanted you to pay in euros. They did not want American greenbacks, especially if it was physical. They did not want it. That's why the tariffs were a bad idea. And if anyone thought that the tariffs were a good idea, you were sorely mistaken. And if you guys haven't noticed, we've had a shortage of all of the chips that we need to have new computers, video game systems, and whatever else, and the price of all of these things have gone up. So it isn't that the tariffs are helping the country. Matter of fact, they're bankrupting the country. We can't get vital technology pieces that we need because guess what? We're quote unquote taxing the countries that make them and that we buy from. Guess who pays the price for that? The American citizen. So if you guys haven't noticed, the European nations are colluding against the United States. That's what this is. They're trying to make sure that the United States gets a little bit weaker. They're essentially, the global market is tired of the United States being the biggest bully. Saw a little bit of this in 2008 when we had the housing bubble burst. In 2008, it was really hard to do everything as far as housing. We lost a lot of developers that were building homes. They abandoned their projects. A lot of houses went unfinished unless they got picked up by another richer developer. And we're not trying to see this happen again, but this is going to happen again if the country's economic downturn continues to happen. We're headed for much worse than a depression, guys, if this doesn't change. Africa, that is who is controlling what's going on right now as far as the relations go when it comes to money overseas. Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa. Now, this is one that you guys should probably be focused on the most. And the reason why you should be focused on this one the most is because we're in the middle of a war in this country. And I don't think that anyone is doubting that this is a war. They've called it a war. They've changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Pete Hegseth is now the War Secretary and not the Defense Secretary. And with the person that's in power who isn't afraid to use any of the government's might, this is actually the most viable form that we've seen. So this is the most viable scenario. We're gonna watch it play out. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all. And that's the one thing that we should worry about. So, guys, we're gonna move quickly today. I'm not gonna dwell too much on it because we got a whole nother show this afternoon. With a guest star, Classic's gonna be on the show. So we're gonna do a whole nother show this afternoon. But we're gonna keep moving forward with this one. We got a little bit more time to keep moving on this one, and it's gonna be the title of the show, which was "What Happens if Society switch the roles.
This is Mr. Eugene. And
what if society started treating men the same way that they treat women? What if society started treating women the same way they treated men? We're going to find out in today's episode, what if the roles were reversed?
Today we're conducting a thought experiment, one that I think has the potential to create more genuine understanding about the male experience than any serious, straightforward explanation of male disadvantage ever could. Because I've learned something over the years of having these conversations, when you explain male suffering directly, people either dismiss it, minimize it, or simply don't have the emotional framework to absorb it. The data doesn't land, the statistics don't move people, the lived experience descriptions get labeled as complaining. So today we're going to try a different approach. We're going to flip everything. We're going to take every disadvantage, every double standard, every area where men are systematically treated as disposable or irrelevant or unworthy of concern, and we're going to ask a simple question. What would happen if this were happening to women instead? Not as an attack on women, not as some exercise in bitterness or point scoring, but as a genuine mirror, because sometimes the only way to make invisible suffering visible is to ask people to imagine it happening to someone they care about. And our society, whatever its many virtues, has made it abundantly clear that it cares about women's suffering in ways it simply does not care about men's suffering. So let's hold up that mirror and see what reflects back. Before we get into this, let me be clear about the tone. This is not rage. This is not a war cry against women. This is a calm, clear-eyed examination of double standards that are so normalized we've stopped seeing them as double standards at all. Men experience these things daily.
So let me tell you guys are watching this video just like I'm watching this video for the first time, and we're going to decide whether or not this is genuine, disingenuous, or if there's some valid concern here. I don't know yet. So my opinion may change during the video, and I will give my opinion live while we're going on and watching the video, as I would hope that all of you would too. So y'all, please don't be beating down my door, because I'll tell you.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
You know, I'm not in the mood to fight with nobody today. You know, especially if you know you're a lady.
I was referring to fighting a man. I don't fight people with the fallopian tubes, okay?
Right. I'm defending. I am the defender, okay? If necessary. So we're gonna see what's going on today, and let's find this out. Let's see what they came up with. All right.
They're so woven into the fabric of male existence that most men don't even recognize them as injustices anymore. They just accept them as the price of being a man. This thought experiment is designed to make that.
And that's one of those things that I'm going to agree with automatically. I do believe that there is some inherent cost in being a man. I think that if you're going to be a man, you got to realize that there are some things that are going to happen to you each and every day.
To this day. To this day.
Every day you're going to wake up and you're going to find that something is wrong and it's something that you need to fix, or that there's just something that just isn't fair. And I do believe that men understand that the world isn't fair. And if they don't understand that the world isn't fair, then they need to wake up again.
Price visible, to make the invisible visible. And to raise a question that I think deserves a serious answer. If we wouldn't accept these things happening to women, why do we accept them happening to men? Stay with me. The draft and disposability. Let's start with the most fundamental expression of male disposability in our society, the draft. Every young man in this country, when he turns 18, is legally required to register for selective service, required by law under penalty of losing access to federal student loans, federal employment, and potentially facing criminal charges. This registration exists for one purpose, so that if the government decides it needs bodies to send into combat, it knows where to find them. Women are not required to register. This wasn't an oversight. It was a deliberate legal distinction based on a principle so deeply embedded in our culture that we barely notice it anymore. In a crisis, men's lives are available to be spent. Women's lives are not. Now hold that thought and imagine the reverse. Imagine that women were legally required to register for selective service at 18. That failure to do so resulted in loss of federal benefits and potential prosecution. That in times of war, women would be directed to combat roles as needed without option to decline. Think about that for 30 seconds. Really think about it. The organized opposition to this would be unlike anything we've seen in modern political history. There would be legal challenges reaching the Supreme Court within weeks. There would be marches of a scale and intensity that would make previous demonstrations look modest. There would be emergency legislative sessions. Every major media outlet would be treating this as the defining civil rights issue of the generation, and they would be right to respond that way. Because it is a profound thing to say to any human being, your life is available to be claimed by the state in times of need. Your body can be directed into situations where you may be killed. You don't get a vote in this. You just have to be available.
So I can see McKinnon's comment, and I'm going to say his comment out loud. McKinnon said, no men or women should be drafted, period. Done. I am of the same thought process. I don't think anybody should be drafted. If you don't want to go to war, you don't want to go to war. What's worse? Having people that are defending quote unquote a country and in a military with weaponry that is heavy and dangerous, that don't want to be there or people who want to be there? Didn't they find this out in Vietnam, that you don't draft people who don't want to go to war because they won't perform correctly while they're there, or they'll commit war crimes and atrocities while they're there? I'm just saying, it's a bad practice, guys.
That is precisely what we say to 18-year-old boys. And we say it so casually, so routinely, that the young men receiving this message barely register it as the extraordinary thing it actually is. Welcome to adulthood. Sign here to confirm that your life belongs to us if we decide we need it. If we wouldn't say this to women, we need to ask ourselves why we say it to men without a second thought. Are dying at work. Approximately 5,000 men die in workplace accidents in this country every single year. 5,000. That's not a statistic. That's 5,000 families who lose a father, a brother, a husband, a son. 5,000 funerals. 5,000 lives ended because the work they were doing killed them. These deaths are concentrated in specific industries: construction, mining, logging, fishing, agriculture, transportation, jobs that are physically dangerous, jobs that happen to be overwhelmingly male, jobs where the profit calculation apparently favors accepting a certain level of work or death over the cost of making conditions safer. Now imagine those 5,000 deaths were female deaths. Imagine 5,000 women dying on the job every year.
Again, that's not just a male problem. That's an industry problem, and that is a greed problem. People's lives should not be hinged upon how much money the company makes. And I'm gonna stop them and say that that's not a male or a female problem. It just so happens that there are more males in these industries where people are dying at on a consistent basis. 5,000 a year, that's a lot of people. There's only 365 days in a year. That means that over 12 people are dying every day.
In industries dominated by women. Imagine what that would look like on the news, what congressional hearings would be called, what regulatory investigations would be launched, what OSHA overhauls would be mandated, what documentaries would be produced, what advocacy organizations would spring up overnight to demand accountability. We know exactly what would happen because we've seen how society responds when female safety is perceived to be at risk. The response is immediate, comprehensive, and treated as a moral emergency. When men die on the job, companies pay out settlements, file the required paperwork, and the world moves on. It's simply the cost of doing certain kinds of work. And the men who do that work, who accept physical risk as part of their daily reality because someone has to and because it pays what it pays, these men are not treated as people making extraordinary sacrifices. They're treated as a line item, 5,000 funerals a year, and it barely makes the conversation. Living shorter lives, men die approximately 5 to 6 years before women on average. 5 to 6 years of life that women have and men don't. That gap represents an enormous amount of living, grandchildren growing up, years of retirement experiences, relationships, time. The reasons for this gap are complex and involve multiple factors. Men take more physical risks. Men work more dangerous jobs. Men are less likely to seek medical care. Men are more likely to die by suicide. All of these feed into a mortality gap that has persisted for generations. Now ask yourself, if women were dying 5 to 6 years earlier than men, would we be having calm academic discussions about the complex contributing factors? Or would we be treating it as a public health emergency demanding immediate attention and substantial resources? The answer is obvious. We know the answer because we've seen how society responds to female health disparities. Research funding follows, public campaigns follow, policy follows. The machinery of social concern mobilizes with speed and scale. For men dying years earlier, the response is essentially, well, men make certain choices. Men take certain risks. There are reasons for this. The implicit message being the gap is explainable, which apparently makes it acceptable. A gap being explainable and a gap being acceptable are two completely different things. We've never required female health disparities to be unexplainable before treating them as worthy of serious attention and resources. We shouldn't require that of male health disparities either. Correct. Because it is a harmful, destructive standard. When applied to men, it is also harmful and destructive. The evidence for this is visible in the suicide statistics, the mental health statistics, the life expectancy gap, the isolation and homelessness rates. Men are paying with their lives for a standard that nobody would tolerate if applied to anyone else. The mirror and what it shows us. So here's what this thought experiment reveals. Every one of these situations, the draft, workplace deaths, the mortality gap, sentencing disparities, family court, educational decline, suicide rates, homelessness, violence victimization, media portrayal, the man up standard, every single one of them would generate immediate, organized, comprehensive social response if the people experiencing them were women. We know this not as speculation, but as observed reality. We've seen how society responds to female disadvantage when it's named and organized around. We've seen the legislation, programs, the cultural shifts, the institutional changes that follow when women's issues receive the attention they deserve. None of that has happened for men. Not because the problems are smaller. By most measures, the problems affecting men are actually larger in scale. Not because the suffering is less real. Not because the social cost is less significant. But because men's suffering has been systematically excluded from the frameworks through which we identify and respond to injustice. Men don't organize effectively on their own behalf. They don't march. They don't build the political coalitions that translate suffering into policy response. They've been taught their whole lives that doing so is weakness, that their pain doesn't warrant that kind of attention, that real men handle their problems quietly and alone. And so the problems persist and grow. And the men...
Again, this is a societal issue. I want to state that very clearly. This is a societal issue. And what he's stating about men is very true. We are taught that to not be weak. We are taught that it is weakness to do a lot of those things. And I think that we should change that. Does that mean that we should tell everyone to be sad? No, or that we should stop people from, discovering their inner strength? Absolutely not. But it's very disingenuous for us to tell a young boy not to talk about his issues, not to talk about his problems, to get them fixed when they're perplexing him. McKinnon said correct. Men are given a crappy deal, and it's other men who set that standard, specifically men who are in power or higher class. Men being treated well doesn't serve their interest. No, it doesn't. Especially, let's call it spade what is spade. Brown men. Brown men are treated disproportionately compared to every other type of man that exists. Let's just leave it there and let's call it what it is. Whether it be the government, whether it be the military, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in sports, even it's unilateral across the board. And I don't think there's any place other than the corn industry where brown people are treated significantly better. McCain says complete truth.
Experiencing them suffer in silence while the cultural conversation moves on to other concerns. This needs to change, not through bitterness, not through opposition to women or to the legitimate advocacy that has improved women's lives in real and important ways.
Yes, and I'm gonna stand there. You cannot think that things are going to get better for men by minimizing women. I'll say it again for those people in the back. If you minimize women, things will not get better for men. That is not how it works. And that's the other problem that we have. One of the main issues that we have in our society today is that everybody thinks that in order for me to get better, I have to diminish someone else. You don't have to do that. You can get better and make things better for your constituents and your demographic all on your own without minimizing somebody else. You don't have to take from somebody else. You don't have to make their life more difficult. You don't have to make their life harder. You don't have to make laws and rules to stop them from succeeding. You don't have to do any of those things. All you have to do is focus on what you need to do. I say this all the time. Worrying about yourself is one of the best things that you can do in this life. Now, I'm not saying don't be concerned about social issues. I'm not saying don't be your brother's keeper and don't be a great neighbor. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is if you worry about yourself and your problems, you will fix yourself and your problems. There are systemic issues that stop all of us from doing things that we want to do and we want to get done. But there's one thing that never stops me, and that's the thought, the knowledge, and the idea that I have lived on for so many years. And that's I'm going to do what I want, when I want, and how many times. And the only thing that they can do is try to stop me. Keyword here is try to stop me. I believe that I'm inevitable. That if I want to succeed, I will succeed. I am not placing a time limit on success. I'm saying that my work ethic, my consistency, and my ability to receive knowledge and utilize that knowledge will take me far in whatever field that I want to go in, regardless of what's going on. Now, I totally understand that the amount of energy that I have to put out to succeed might greatly surpass the amount of energy that someone else has to put out. But here's the thing. I don't care so much when it's something that I want to do. I don't care how much energy I need to put out when I want to win, because when I want to win, the only thing that I'm focused on is winning. I'm not focused on how you're making it easy on me or how you're making it hard on me. I'm focusing on the solution. The solution is how do I win? Unfortunately, not everybody can think like that. Not everybody has been trained to think like that. Not everybody has had the experiences that they go through to think this way. So yeah, some people think if I just blame somebody else and put it on them about why I'm not succeeding, then we can do something about those people who are. No. That is not my goal. My goal is not to diminish anyone. My goal is to empower. So how are we going to do this? That's the question. How are we going to do this? How are we going to empower one another without tearing each other down? It isn't men versus women. Once again, I'll say it again. It's not men versus women. It isn't. It's those in power versus those who don't have much. It's those without the money versus those with the money. How do you then slide in and snatch some of that power for yourself? How do you then make sure that you can do what you want to do without anybody stopping you from doing so? That's the question, because I know everybody wants a piece.
Don't you want to live the taste of the glory? See what a taste like.
I think they do. I think they do. What's up, Richard? I see you in here. How you doing? Richard said being stoic all the time isn't an issue for the strong. The problem arises when laws put them at too many disadvantages. And that's what we're talking about right now, Richard. You got that right on the head. I think you and McKinnon have it nailed up completely. You guys are doing my job for me today, and I appreciate you so much for doing so. You see, my strength is internal. I could have the worst day in the world and nobody would ever know about it because I'm strong. I just want other people to feel empowered to be as strong. If they see me talking the way that I talk and walking the way that I walk and holding my head up high, then maybe they might do the same thing. My goal isn't just to inspire them. My goal is to show them that it can be done. Not just because it can be done, but because I want to do it. I want to win. I want to succeed. I want things to happen for me. So the next generation of boys that look like me and act like me and walk around like me and are interested in the things that I'm interested in, they're not going to get marginalized. They're not going to feel like, oh, well, I'm not just like that guy. I can't win because I don't look like him. I don't talk like him. I don't walk like him. No, dare to be different, but also dare to be yourself. Have those internal things inside of you. Guys, men especially, stop placing someone else as a monolith in your life. You don't have to compare to him. I don't compare to anyone. I am better in my mind. Now, does that mean that I'm walking around prideful? Absolutely not. What it means is that I'm not comparing my life to theirs. Comparison is the thief of joy, after all. And I'm not about that life. I'm not about to sit up here and compare my life to everybody else's life and say, well, they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to do that. No, because I had to do all of this. I had to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And that's fine because I did it. Hopefully I did it so the next generation doesn't have to. Hopefully. Only time will tell. But as we have seen, the way that things work out, these things happen over and over again in cycles. So maybe I'm just doing it for me and my family. But even if I'm just doing it for me and my family, I did it. Somebody had to. That's the real man thought here. Somebody had to do it, right? And I think that a lot of women feel this way too. The job needs to get done. Someone has to do it. Why not me?
But through the straightforward recognition that men's suffering is also real, also significant, also worthy of serious attention and organized response. If we can see clearly how we'd respond to these things if they happen to women, we should be able to see clearly that we should respond to them happening to men. The standard should be the same. The urgency should be the same. The compassion should be the same. Final thoughts. I want to close by saying something clearly. This channel has never been about attacking women or suggesting that women's issues don't matter. Women's issues matter. Female suffering is real and deserves the serious response it receives, but so does male suffering. And the test of whether our commitment to reducing human suffering is genuine, or whether it's really something narrower than that, is whether we can extend the same urgency and concern to men that we extend to women when the numbers are equivalent or worse. By that test, we are currently failing men, systematically, consistently, across nearly every domain of life where men are disadvantaged or suffering at scale. This thought experiment is not a call to take anything away from women. It's a call to extend to men the same humanity we already extend to women, to ask the same questions about male suffering that we ask about female suffering, to mobilize even a fraction of the social energy for men in crisis that we mobilize for women in equivalent circumstances. That's not a radical position. It shouldn't be a controversial one. But apparently, given how little attention these issues receive in mainstream discourse, it's still a conversation that needs to be had. Drop a comment. Tell me where this landed for you, what resonated.
Yeah, you guys tell me what's going on here, man. I mean, the way that I see it and my final soliloquy on this is very simple. Value each other. Value men, value women, work together, have our society actually function the way that I think it was designed to function. Nobody is each other's slave. You're not greater than them. They're not greater than you. Just do your job. Tons of Ice said, my third wife reversed roles on Wednesday nights. Man, I hated that. Oh, no, Tons of Mice. Oh, no, not today. No, not today. Oh, okay, guys, I got time for one more segment today. And I'm gonna say it again. Value your women in your life. It's that simple. Value your women in your life and put them in a very nice place. But at the same time, gentlemen, value yourselves, and women, value your men. They are working for you. A real good man is working for you. Whether you want to realize it or not, A real good man is working for you. Open your eyes and see that there are good men that are trying to do things for you in your life. Stop worrying about the ideals and worry about the people that actually care about you. If somebody is sitting there calling you and texting you and trying to make things happen for you, and they are not threatening, or they are not demanding, or they are none of these things, they actually care about you. What are you waiting for? Go on a date. Have a good time. And let the kids stay with grandma. Whatever you got to do to have a good life. Men, on the other hand, they have lives. They have responsibilities. They're taking care of their kids or themselves. Stop being so hard on them all the time. Ease up a little bit. Change your tone, maybe. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do to try to get along with people if you care about getting along with people. And if you don't care about getting along with people, then say so. Then say so. Say, I don't want to get along with anybody. It's my way or the highway. But say it, own it, and mean it. We got one more segment of the day, guys, before I let you go. And I'm letting you guys know this right now, that we do have a show this afternoon. It's going to be at 4:30 p.m. Central. It's going to be me and Classic breaking down a lot of things. We're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff. And we want to see what you guys think about it. I believe the title of the show is Legacy or Honor. And with Legacy or Honor, we are going to define what legacy and honor is, but both with boxing and with the everyday life that people seem to have, and women saying that they are no longer useful to men and they don't want to be. But that's this afternoon, and you guys should show up. So make sure that you like and that you subscribe to the show. But right now, it's almost 2:15. I'm going to give you guys a little stretch break. TezDown style. Let's go. Stretch. Crack those knuckles again, McKinnon. Bring it into that sternum. Yeah. Left arm over right, y'all. Give me a 10 count, somebody, please. Don't be afraid to make the ugly face at your desk. I'm not. Get these neck rolls in. Give me at least 10. Reverse. Theme of the day, reversing it. Oh, a little bit to the more side, yeah. Give me some on this side. Yeah, get it to me. Take a deep breath, y'all. That was rough. Yeah, that was rough. Oh, yeah. Let it out. Oh, yeah. Y'all ready for the rest of the show? Let's get it. Yeah, I'm ready for the rest of the show today. Let's get the rest of the show. What's going on? Into Deep is in the building. What's up, Into Deep? Nice to see you, man. Hey, I am reinvigorated now for the rest of this show. Y'all ready for some of this? Y'all ready for some of this Club Shay Shay action? I'm ready for some of this Club Shay Shay action. You know, I think he is too. Oh, boy. Yes. He said, this is random. Obama plays a big role in all of this. Hey, yes. Yes, he does. They talked about it a little bit on the Ben podcast yesterday. If you guys haven't had a chance, you can check out the Ben podcast for all of your political news and facts they're going to give you. And they like to fact check themselves, so I don't have to do it for them, which I appreciate that a lot. So let's move on. Let's move on to our last segment of the day. I hope you guys stretched out really nice and good. And I hope that that your day is moving over real fast. We're going to check out the
Odell Beckham said $100 million.
Let's go. It is Odell Beckham and Amon Shumpert on saving their money. So all of the people that like to watch athletes and people who made money and what they do with their money, they're going to talk to you about what they actually do with their money today. And this is actually pretty good considering that we talked about finances for half the day.
Odell Beckham said $100 million. He went viral, said $100 million doesn't last a lifetime. We know in professional sports that 5 years after 70% of the players, football, basketball, after they leave the sport, if they're married, they're divorced. 5 years after they leave the sport, they're bankrupt. What happens to the money? Where the money goes? They be spending it.
Mogs be spending. Like I done been around Mogs that done had. Now, granted, I ain't make 400 million like they making now.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like I was broke. I remember broke.
Yeah.
Probably a month into when my rookie year, a month in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm probably 2-3 checks in. Looking at my account, I can't go broke. There's no way I'm going broke. But the difference was, one, my brother him and my financial advisor have been taking half my check the whole time. So I never knew how much money I had. I just thought what I got in Bank of America. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I told you that. Y'all scam me.
God damn, Jimmy.
I've been suspect right after this shit. Hey, no, take every dollar out that account.
Well, he don't know he got more than that.
But yeah, he just basically like, bro, if you don't know, how you gonna, like, if I'm looking at my account and I don't see nothing but a couple $100 bands, I'll never go spend a meal.
Right.
So couple $100 bands in here. Like, why am I gonna go spend a meal? And for my man, it's like from overdraft and $20 in your account, if that, you know what I'm saying? From going from that to seeing, just 6 figures, period. It was just like, but then I noticed like all my teammates, everybody's lifestyle was changing. The people I got drafted with, they all just like, it's like they couldn't wait to be rich. I'm like, nigga, I don't even know how to be rich. I'm like, y'all went and got the craziest car you could find. Like, I wouldn't even know how to start this. I got a Jeep. I had a gunmetal Jeep. I'll never forget it. Rhino skin on it and everything. They like Mello used to be mad at me. Like, Shump, you come up here with this goddamn Jeep, bro. Like I'm embarrassing him or something. His Jeep was like for like a day off.
Yeah.
He like, my Jeep for taking off the doors and acting crazy in the summer. He like, you got a Jeep on a day-to-day?
Yeah.
He like, Shump, you could buy a Benz, this. And I just like, gee, I barely even drive.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I just never was one of them excessive
say.
kids. Like, even with shopping, I'm like, I don't like looking like y'all. I was going to go to Neiman's. I was going to go to Barney's or wherever else y'all went. Saks. But I'm like, 3 of y'all came in looking like twins.
Yeah.
Y'all weird as hell.
All y'all did was buy everything off the mannequin.
Y'all mannequin boys. Mannequin man. Like, come on, mannequin man. I can't do that.
But I think the thing is, and people like, look, if you make, let's just say for the sake of argument, you make $100 million, we're going to take 50 away for taxes. And just let's say for the sake of argument, with your financial people and your agent, they take 2 to 3%. So that's 5% total after that. Mm-hmm. So that's another $2.5 million. And let's just say you took care of mom, dad, and your family, and that's another 15. If you can't survive off $35 million jump after you're done, you got a bigger issue. You could have made $200 million and you still would have been broke.
And then another thing, when y'all having y'all kids, like moms be having hella kids, but it's like that it's court system kids. Like you can't have court system kids where it's like while you're playing, that BM is just draining your account per month, but you're not even seeing or feeling it because you playing.
Because you play it, yeah.
The moment you stop, you're gonna start feeling it.
Yeah. If you make, $20,000, $30,000 a month ain't nothing if you making $40 million. You not making $40 million and they taking $20,000, $30,000 a month.
Why the fuck you lying?
Another 15, 20,
Why you always lying?
I do numbers though. I do numbers really well. It's always been, it's wild because even like I did see that quote, but it's just like he was trying to basically, I don't think he was saying,
he ain't saying himself.
Yeah, he's just saying he could understand how people mess up. And I think the one thing he just didn't talk about is the kids, bro.
Yeah.
That's the real wrinkle. Like you can honestly live as good as you want out here, bro. Once you start having them kids while you're playing and somebody is taking that, and then afterwards you got to deal with that, and it might get reslotted because you're not making as much anymore, but it's like it hits more now that you're leaving. You know,
and then you got to pay for the attorneys because you got to pay for yours and hers. You pay, both. And she gonna get them. She gonna get a nice one too.
Yeah, but it's like that's what I'm saying. It's all the things involved. It's just like,
and then the house. Sure, I mean, you shouldn't buy your. Listen, you love your mom, you love your dad, but don't go buy them no $3 million house. That's too much upkeep.
Yeah, I mean, my mama got a $1 million house.
Yeah, but I'm saying we got something that my sister and them can clean themselves. That my sister cut the grass. But if you got to pay for a cleaning service to come in once, twice a week, you got to pay for a lawn care service to come in. Bro, when you done, like I said, when you making that kind of money, you don't miss it.
Yeah.
But when money is going out and ain't none coming in, I'll tell you what, just keep pouring this out and don't put none back in there and see how fast it goes. And I don't think people realize that. Flying to go, if you're on a private jet. Well, private jet.
That's another one. These private flights. I know all the Instagram girls taking videos and pictures on it. honestly, when you get a private jet, like I used to be telling mans like, hey man, what y'all taking pictures and shit, take pictures. Now, if I ever get a private jet, y'all better take pictures, videos, do cartwheels, take a blanket home, drink all of the pop on that. You better use the shit out of this because I don't do private jet all the time. I'm not big on private jet because I'm very much so. I kind of like how the airport goes for me.
Yeah.
Like, I get there in 45 minutes, drop my bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to do like the greeters and everything. Like I don't really like a lot of people to talk to me. But if I keep a straight face, hoodie on, I could just go. And by the time I sit down, I'm gonna be asleep.
Where you live at? New York?
Atlanta.
Atlanta? Well, all you gotta do is take Delta One.
What?
They'll take you around. You don't even go in. You go, hey.
No, see, that's too much.
No, but check this out.
Too much.
They pull you up to the side of the plane.
You bogus.
No,
you gonna get into it with the other passenger.
Nah, I ain't gonna get into other.
He gonna run into that passenger and be like, what makes him so good?
No.
Who is he supposed to be?
I just pay for the service. That's all. You're not. Your baby get your nice little meal, get the chocolate.
It's still coming in for Shannon. Look at it. He said, yeah, let me get that Delta One.
But look, I've never been, at some point in time, I don't need 15 cars. I don't need a house in Miami. I don't need a house in LA.
I got a lot of cars.
God damn.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Yeah. Sooner or later, I'm gonna start selling them. Like, but I'll be pulling up. Like when I pull up, people be like, "Will you?" And I'll be like, "Nah, this one just got finished though." Yeah, this one just got finished. Ooh.
Listen to that you talk. What have you learned about money that you didn't previously know?
My favorite thing that money do is make somebody shut the fuck up. I never knew money could do that.
Yeah.
And it, in a lot of ways, like not on some like you talking and I throw some money and it's like, oh, I won't say anything ever again.
Right.
But it's like money is like I had this friend that was like complaining about some shit he had going on.
Shut your stupid
It was some shit he had going on and it was valid, but I was in the middle of watching something. So it became an annoyance that you telling your story about whatever this is and how you needed this money and it was supposed to come through and well, I sent him that money and he shut the fuck up just like I wanted. And we finished watching the show that we was watching. But he literally, cause it really was a problem that arose.
Right.
But I'm like, with me, people always say money ain't everything. Right?
Yes,
you hear that growing up because they trying to humble you.
Mm-hmm.
Money ain't everything. But then in all situations in your life, all of it take money. Can't live in your house without money. Can't eat. Can't take care of nobody. So you damn sure can't be a man. You a boy at this point. You ain't got no money. You're a boy. Transportation. Education. Shit is all money. So it's like when they say money ain't everything, I just be looking like
Uppity women now.
I think that's what I
They
learned
want
about
the right
money.
to
Tell them
choose.
to shut the fuck up. And it really is everything.
I love the access that it allows you to have. The things that I can do for other people. Like my family, I can take care of my family. I mean, I don't really buy myself a whole lot of stuff.
You run out. You run out of shit.
Yes.
Get out of here,
after you've had a Ferrari or a Lambo or a Rolls or a Bentley or a Range.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
That's too low on the ground. That's too low on the ground. That was 90, 93.
What you getting custom like
Nah.
How y'all ass in it? I'm uncomfortable sometimes driving my McLaren sometimes. I'll be having to like get my
I ain't big as Shaq. I know Shaq ain't getting
you gotta show you a football player. You got
yeah, but I fit because I wanted to fit.
You dropped the top of that.
No, it was a hard top. It's a 5'20".
You hard top.
You remember the one Jordan had, the black one?
All right, if the mic had it, I get it. Why you got it? Yeah, that black dude.
Yeah, that 5'12". I had to get it. I had to get it.
Too. You got the cigar when you got out?
No. I was with my brother.
With a can't go hat.
It was just you had to have it. There's certain things watching Miami Vice growing up. Yeah. I said if I ever got some money, I want a Rolex, I wanted a Versace silk shirt and some linen pants, and I wanted a Ferrari.
Word.
Want a Ferrari.
That's great.
Yeah, baby.
I always wanted I wanted a watch, but I wanted it to be man. I ain't make one yet.
What?
I want to make a watch.
Oh, you want to make your own watch?
I forgot what watch my dad had this watch that somebody gave him. He didn't want it. And I was annoying the shit out of him. I was annoying the hell out of my daddy. I'm asking him about his watch, then talking about the other watch, and then talking about the flaws of the watch.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, why don't you just make one? I'll wear that one.
Yeah.
And that shit kind of just stuck with me. So it's like all the things that I had coming when I first got in the league, that's what I used to buy, watches.
Yeah.
But it was like, it took me a while to even realize that that's where it came from, but I love watches. I don't know why. And they don't got to do much. Like sometimes it can just be a plain Jane watch.
But that ain't what you got on right now.
No. That's why I see it. Not this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this one is a shut the fuck up watch.
To this day, you're right.
Stop talking to me, gang.
To this
is
day.
how I walk through the back. I definitely walk through the kitchen here.
You were an early investor in Uber. You got it as guy
and got right up out of there.
Come on, Sean. Don't say that, Sean.
As soon as I seen it was making a little money, I got up.
Sean, you got to hold on to that for at least 20.
Well, I ain't know nothing about nothing. I was broke. They gave me some money. Somebody said something about that. Uber sounded to me like you remember Rent-A-Cab?
Yeah.
And what movie was that? Baps. And Baps. The man, they basically was talking about Uber.
No.
What if you could have a private driver whenever you want? It was like phone a cab or some shit like that.
No.
Whatever. And when I heard of Uber, I'm like, that's kind of like, yeah. And I'm like, but wait a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, let me put a little money in there. So I put a little money in there. That shit flipped about 2-3 times. Well, I took that money out so quick and bought some.
Why'd you leave
a little bit in there?
Yes.
Because I thought it would drop like the rest of everything else.
But you had done made your money. Even if it did drop, you just take
it. I still made my money.
I'm saying.
I just didn't make as much.
Yeah,
I'd have cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? That's like, they was about to do about Bitcoin. I'd have glowed up.
Why the fuck you lying?
Bitcoin, but I ain't know. Because I'm not tech savvy. So to get into your wallet, I'd have never been able to get my wallet. I'd have never been able to get into my wallet. And I had an opportunity to get into it. I think it was like $500. It was like $500 a coin. And the dude said, you know, because I know you, I'll let you get in at $500 a coin, and I give you an opportunity to get like 15, 20,000. I said, bro, I appreciate that, but I don't know nothing about it.
Oh, shit. Hey, I blew it, but he blew it. I messed up.
I messed up.
I'm a hold my.
Yeah. I ain't know nothing about it. I'm like I said, I couldn't have got into the wallet.
I ain't gonna lie. That'd have been too much for you. You had way too much fuck you on your hands, bro. That'd have been too much.
What?
You definitely wouldn't be doing this. You wouldn't be.
Oh, yeah. I would, because I would have been able to get into the wallet. So I had to keep doing it. Because without the wallet, you can't open the wallet. It's useless. You got all that money just sitting at it. It's like your account. It's like you got all this money in this account, and the government got your account frozen. You see what's in there, but you can't get.
I got to do it.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official.
So, guys, I mean, what we have pretty much gathered from this is like rich guys will spend their money on dumb stuff and make bad investments because they have so much money. I mean, I thought it was going to be a little bit more substance in there, but I guess that it wasn't. And I'm just about out of time today. But do have another stream at 4:30. Let's do a little bit of this. You guys who did not show up or to Chicago missed the event. And I want to show you guys a little bit of what you missed.
Why you ain't say nothing? I'm only gonna do this once. You always knew I'd make it in the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? You believed in me the whole time, for real? Yeah. I couldn't tell. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't call? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't? You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Put that on my soul.
Hey, we had a blast during the Singles and Soulmates show in Chicago. We are on tour right now. That is the Raw Society Coalition that is on tour with the Singles and Soulmates tour. And we're going to be coming to a city near you very soon. The tour dates are going to be set up. Wait, they're set up, guys. I don't have them all set up yet, or that what's going on. But you guys can find us live each and every single day. Coming up first is usually me in the daytime. That's right here on the TezDown. You can subscribe to the Raw Society Coalition channel, whereas most of the videos that we all post are going to be on there, as well as the live shows. You can also catch No Middleman there as well. The Classic Code, which will be up later on today too, with me. Also Souls of Thought, which is the No Middleman podcast, usually on his show, or a couple of the other shows that he's got running lately, which is they have a music show that they do. I believe that's going to run tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Uncle Plug TV. Uncle Plug posted some new stuff this morning. You guys can check out Uncle Plug TV. His is about taking care of the program and making sure that you guys stick to it in the morning. Conversations with Soft Rain, her channel. Don't forget, Throne Thursdays is coming up. That is Conversations with Soft Rain's version of the Queen's Code, which is the King's Code panel. And again, myself, the TezDown, we, all 5 of us individuals and our individual channels make up the Raw Society Coalition. And you can see the amalgamation of sorts on the Raw Society Coalition channel. Take a screenshot of this right now so I can take this off of here. And then there we go. What we got in here? We got, what up, Ollie, man? How you doing? Nice to see you. Elbows up in Canada. Let's get it. Elbows up in Canada. Rigid Vibration said, this show was underrated. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for saying so. If you guys can, do me a favor and share my show out to your friends and constituents. I do have a goal that I am trying to reach. This is a new channel for me, and I am getting very close to 400 subscribers. I need 500 so that you guys can super chat instead of bypassing the super chat, which is scrolling at the bottom of your screen with my Zelle and my Cash App, if you guys did not know. As well as my social channel, which is Soul Reaper 24 across social media, and that is how you find me. I will be live again today with Classic. We have a little bit of a sports stream, but also a little bit of a culture stream later on today. It is not the Human Experience. You guys can check out the Human Experience that we did, parts 1 and 2 from yesterday, which was Thursday and Wednesday. We had 2 shows back to back for part 1 and part 2 of the Human Experience on Wednesday and Thursday. You guys can find that on my channel. You guys can find that on the Classic Codes channel. And I believe you may be able to find it on the RSC channel as well. There's a backlog of videos that you guys can go back and watch. And I have given a lot of information on here. And I appreciate you saying that this show was underrated, because I thought that most of the segments today were underrated too. And I probably could have talked a little bit more. But hey, you guys hear me talk a lot. And I want to give you guys a little bit more of the content today. We'll see how I did. But with all that being said, I appreciate that. I'm going to need you guys here this afternoon. So at 4:30, make sure you guys tune in to the TezDown and Classic Code Sports. And we will be going live at 4:30 this afternoon to give you guys another show. Until then, I'm Tez. I'm 24. I'm Tez 24. It's going to be less than 24 before you see me again. You guys will see me again in about 2.5 hours. Thank you for coming through.
I'm the Tez. I'm the Tez.
Welcome to the TezDown. Welcome.
I'm the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the TezDown. Party time.